Well, welcome to Betsafe's Premier League betting preview for Week 21 with none other than former Premier League manager Harry Redknapp, who Harry picks out his treble every week for new and existing Betsafe customers. And Harry's joining us on the line today all the way from Dubai. Harry, great to have you on board. Happy New Year to you. What are you doing in Dubai?
I'm out here, Dom. Happy New Year to you. I'm out here. I've got a runner tomorrow night at Maidan. Movie Star, which is my horse, and he runs. We're getting ready. Hopefully, he runs well. He'll have two or three couple of prep races, and if he does well out here on the surface, he's running on dirt, which is the dirt is different to it's quite a deep dirt, and whether he can handle the surface. If he does, we're hoping to qualify to run to be invited to run in the Carnival, which is sort of later in a month or a couple of months' time, which is a big meeting out here. So that's the aim. Run tomorrow, run well, win if possible, and then try to get into the Carnival, which is fantastic prize money, great prestige to go and to run in them races, especially if you could win one of the big races.
Fantastic. I mean, and for those that don't know, I mean, Harry's not only a Premier League manager, he's got a great passion for horses, which he loves very much indeed. Harry, how long ago would you have had to take your horse out to acclimatise to obviously very different conditions?
Yeah, he's been here about 12 days. He absolutely loves it here. I went out, as I say, yesterday morning to the stable. Eddie Lynham trains him. Eddie's an Irish, well-known Irish trainer. And Eddie said he thinks he's on holiday. He absolutely loves it. The warmer weather, the lovely climate. The stables are just unbelievable. We're like a hotel. You've never seen horses get spoilt like it. It's like everything in Dubai. It's absolutely top class. And so he goes out. He went out yesterday. They go out, he come back. He has a shower. He said it's like being on holiday for him. So we just hope he gets out the holiday mood in time for the race tomorrow.
Fantastic. Well, you've got obviously your horse to focus on midweek, and of course the Premier League action returns after the third round of the FA Cup, Harry.
Yeah.
And you've, as usual, picked out a treble for us for this weekend, which, as mentioned, new and existing Betsafe customers can buy into at 4-1, and it's Manchester City, Arsenal, and Chelsea all to win. There's some really great value in there. It might seem like an obvious choice. However, they're all playing away from home. And this
all
week,
away, yeah.
And this weekend, especially Super Sunday, Merseyside versus Manchester. So there's a lot of interest in Super Sunday, and your first fixture is Everton versus Manchester City. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think we're in a situation now, Don, where the top team can't afford to have too many more defeats. If Man City are going to make a challenge for the title and look to get up and push Chelsea, they really have got to go. They were great last week at West Ham. They won 5. But they need to now go on a run of winning games. I think they need to go and win the next 6, 7, 8 games off the spin. They can't afford slip-ups. And they're going to have, Everton's never an easy place to go. It's always been a difficult ground, Goodison Park, but they're not in great form this year, Everton, and it's a game that Man City, they just have to win it if they want to stay in touch with the leaders. So I've gone for his make or break, I think, for Man City this week.
And just to highlight what Harry said there, I mean, Everton, a fantastic team, but just lack that consistency, losing 2-1 to Leicester on the weekend in the FA Cup after going 1-0 up as well. But then the week before, then the Premier League, they defeated Southampton 3-0. Where do you think it's all going wrong at times for Everton, Harry?
Well, I think it's been difficult for Ronald Koeman. He's took over quite an aging, especially an aging back four, if you like. Fantastic players over the years. Baines has been a great left back. Jagielka. They were quite settled at the back, Now suddenly they just don't look quite the same. Gareth Barry's been a fantastic player, but he's not getting any younger. Just it's a squad I think that needs some new blood in the window, and I think he's looking to bring 2 or 3 players into Everton. And if he can do that, I'm sure they'll push on again. But it's hard at the moment, as I say, to say he's relying on the same players, and a lot of them are not getting any younger. They're probably players now that need to play and rest a bit, and they're more squad players, if you like, than being 100% every week in the team as they have been. So I think it's a difficult job. He's got a bit of a rebuilding job at Everton.
Sergio Aguero back for Manchester City in the Premier League, which is obviously good news. But here's an interesting managerial stat for you, Harry. Pep has now lost, Guardiola that is, has now lost twice as many league matches this season as he did in the whole of the 2015-16 season with Bayern Munich. In your opinion, how have you seen his first season in the Premier League so far?
Well, it's not been great, Dom. In all honesty, I think I read the other day he said he'd made lots of mistakes, and I think he chopped and changed the system. There's no real pattern to him. He decided to get rid of Joe Hart very early. I felt, look, that was I felt it was a poor decision. Joe Hart was an important player for Man City, important person at the football club. Even if he's not going to play him, I think Joe, I certainly wouldn't have discarded him too quickly. And he's at the moment, obviously company never playing has been a blow to him. But they've tried to play out from the back. They've got themselves in trouble in lots of cases where they've over tried to play. And I still think he's coming to terms with what the Premier League offers. Early in the season they went to Tottenham. Tottenham pressed them high up the pitch, and they really couldn't handle the pressure from Tottenham. Tottenham swarmed all over them, and he seems to have changed the system. Three at the back. He's gone from every week he's something newer. I just think maybe he's trying to be a little bit too clever this year at the moment, and I think he really needs to get back to basics, get a set system, and he's got good players, get the best out of them in a system, find a system that suits the players and get on with it and give it a run without keep chopping and changing.
Well, that's the first of Harry's treble. He's gone from Man City to win away from Everton. Everton 13-4, the draw 14-5, Man City 6-7. City to win and both teams to score at 13-5. City to win and over 3.5 goals at 15-4 with Betsafe. At the second part of your treble, Swansea versus Arsenal, Harry.
I mean, the same again, Dom. I'd be a liar if I said I've been impressed with Arsenal. I haven't. I was at Bournemouth. They were dreadful. For 70 minutes, they were dreadful. They never had a shot at goal. Their first shot on target was after 70 minutes when they made it 3-1. And okay, in the end, they got away with a draw. Bournemouth had a man sent off late on, and they scored against the 10 men. But overall, it was a poor performance. Last week at Preston, the same. They were dreadful. First half, Preston should have been 3 goals up. They should have been. But I'm going again. They can't keep playing. They've got to improve. And this is a make or break season. I think Arsenal have got to be there challenging for the title, and they can't afford to get beat at Swansea. It's never an easy place to go for them. But Swansea bounced back at Palace, had a good result. I saw them the week before against Bournemouth, and they were awful. Bournemouth went there and beat them 3-0. So it's one of those games. I just think the quality of Arsenal and the Arsenal needing a win here the weekend is why I'm going to take a gamble with Arsenal.
And just to underline what Harry was saying about Arsenal's recent form, only 2 wins in 5 for the Gunners, and only 5 from 10. Not what you would expect from a side packed full of quality.
No, not at all. No, they've been awful. As I say, they were absolutely dreadful at Preston. It was a really poor performance, and so they need to. And at Bournemouth was exactly the same. So they do need to up their performance. They will get the 3 points they need. Because, as I say, overall, Swansea have been pretty poor. That's why they've sacked the manager, Bob Bradley. Paul Clement has come in. His first game in actual charge was last week in the Cup. They got beat at Hull. Again, I don't think they were particularly good. So I just think Arsenal should have too much for Swansea.
Arsenal 7-15, the draw 19-5. Swansea for the upset 17-3 with Betsafe. And your final treble pick, Leicester, current champions versus possibly new champions against Chelsea, 15th versus 1st.
Yeah, Chelsea again. They're top of the league. They've had a defeat at Tottenham. I didn't think they were that bad at Tottenham. When you looked at it after Tottenham had cut 2 shots, I think probably on target. And Tottenham edged the game. There was no doubt. Chelsea didn't create that much, but they weren't that. There was patches in the game where you looked at Chelsea and they did look a very, very good team still. So, and they've got to get back on track this week. They're going to have to go. They're not going to want to suffer 2 defeats and allow the pack to close on them. They've got to keep that gap there now. That means winning at the weekend at Leicester. They went to Leicester early in the season in the cup competition, and they had a win there. They came from behind at half time to win. And Leicester have been up and down this year. They've not been consistent in the league. And as I say, Chelsea, it's a game they need to win. The title is their main aim this year. At the top of the league, they're not going to let that go easily now. They're going to make sure they come back all guns firing at the weekend to get the 3 points they need to maintain that gap.
Diego Costa, 14 league goals so far this season. Hazard, 9, which is more than double of his tally from last year. Check out the Betsafe anytime goal scorer odds closer to the weekend. Two sides, if you look at this stage of the season last year, Harry, two sides which were in completely different positions to what they are in now. What has actually changed
Yeah.
other than the personnel? What can you see as the big difference?
Well, I suppose for Leicester, it was incredible, Don. We'll probably never see that again in our lifetimes. A team that so unfancied winning the league as they did, and with a group of players that no disrespect, you did look at them, I think they're capable of being anywhere near to winning a title, even a top 6 looked an impossibility. And they did it. They were just fantastic. They week in, week out, they ground out results. But I think this year suddenly they've reached their goal. They've got into the Champions League. They've had a great Champions League campaign. They're in the knockout stage now of the Champions League, which is a fantastic achievement. They probably took their eye off the ball a little bit, and and probably for whatever reason, they've found the level this year. I think they'll finish halfway up the league, but I think that's as high as they can finish this year. I think Chelsea man for man on a different level to Leicester. And they should have been last year, in all honesty. Chelsea underachieved last year big time. They were champions of the league before. Last year they came back when Mourinho was there. There was seemed to be discontent in the dressing room, and they just didn't perform. But this year now, with Conte's come in, it looks like he's getting the absolute maximum out of the players. They play to a system that suits them. They play 3 at the back. He plays with his wing backs, and it's a system that they seem to have bedded into very well. And I just think they'll have too much for Leicester.
Leicester 5-1, the draw 3-1, Chelsea 3-5, Chelsea to win 1-0, 29-5, perhaps a little bit of value there, and Chelsea to win, and both teams to score at 13-5. That is Harry's treble. So we've got Chelsea, Manchester City, and Arsenal all to win away from home at 4-1. Now there's some real value. Harry, we'll just quickly run through the best of the rest, and I've specifically selected some of the old teams that you've looked after. West Ham versus Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it's a big game again for both teams. West Ham on the back of an horrendous result in the Cup against Man City. I mean, okay, people say, well, it's only they're out of the Cup. They've got to, West Ham fans won't be happy getting beat 5-0 at home. Full out, they came there expecting a full house, great atmosphere, and absolutely got taken to the cleaners by Man City that night. And so they've got to bounce back. But Palace are desperate for... Sam's took over. Everybody thinks, a new dawn. They're going to suddenly take off. But their results have been pretty poor. Getting beat at home by Swansea was a disaster for them. So they're going to be all guns blazing. Sam going back to West Ham as well, where he did a good job. He's going to want to go back there and get a result. So it's a tight game. I mean, I'll be honest, if I had to put my money down, Dom, I think I'd go and take the draw. The problem is in the value is in the draw. I think Sam would come away from home happy with a point. And West Ham at the moment, they need to pick up and not get beat. They can't afford another defeat. Slaven needs a result of some sort, and even a draw. He'd go home Saturday night feeling a bit happier.
West Ham 6-5, and as Harry said, the value could well be in the draw, and that's at 12-5. Palace 12-5. West Ham to win 2-0, 9-1. West Ham to score in both halves 21-10. With Betsafe, Spurs versus West Brom. We can't talk enough about Spurs' recent form. In fact, they've been pretty good all season, but they've really hit their straps, haven't they?
Yeah, they're an outstanding team, Dom. They're full of quality. I mean, the performance against Chelsea was excellent. It'd be interesting to see what system he plays this week. He went back to playing 3 at the back against Chelsea, matched Chelsea up. It's a system he's used a few times this year, Pochettino. I think the system suits him perfectly. He's got the 2 best attacking wing backs in the country in Walker and Rose. 3 outstanding centre halves, Vertonghen, Vermaelen, Vertonghen, Alderweireld and Dyer. It's a great back 3 with them wing backs, and it's just a system that I think they're tailor-made for it. So I'd like to see Pochettino stay with that system, but he may well change it the weekend. He may decide to go back to a back 4, but it's an interesting game because West Brom are not easy meat for anybody. They'll come there. Tony's teams are always very difficult to beat. Tony Pulis, he sets his teams up well. They're well organised. They're not exciting or flamboyant, but they do make it hard for the opposition. And on set plays, they're always a danger. So they'll be taking their time, get a free kick, get in a corner, loading the box up and putting Tottenham under severe pressure. They'll be blocking the goalie in, he'll have a hard day. And that's how Tony's teams get their results. He'll come to White Hart Lane and make it difficult for Tottenham.
A player that you've always had a lot of positive things to say about, Dele Alli. Just tell me what a fine young player you think this young man's turning out to be.
Oh, I think he's amazing, Dom. He's 20 years of age and he's just a fantastic all-round talent. He's got everything. I mean, he's great. He's 6'2", 6'3", great in the air. He can play. He can he's aggressive. He's just a full package. There's nothing he can't do, really. He's got the lot. And he's an outstanding player. Just 20 years of age. What a signing from MK Dons. You know, other people looked at him and looked at him and looked at him and, took too long to make their mind up. And Tottenham went in and took him. And, I mean, what is his value now? You couldn't put a value on him. But he's got that knack of arriving in the box, plays in behind Harry Kane, sees the gaps, gets in the box. You know, Brian Robson, and people who would look back, remember Brian Robson used to arrive in the box. And going back way, way, way back for the older listeners, Martin Peters, who, 1966 played at West Ham with Martin. They used to call him the Ghost. He used to ghost into the penalty box unseen and just score. He'd score 14, 15 goals a year from that midfield position. Dele Alli's the same. He's got that ability to arrive in the box. And he's a top player.
Harry, we talk about, Dele Alli, what a great talent, Eriksen, Kane, all these guys. Do you think Dembele and his role is probably goes unnoticed and what he's contributed to the Spurs team has been outstanding?
Dembele, what a talent again. Tom, he's got that ability to run with the ball. He's so strong on the ball. With Wanyama in there, Wanyama's come in and give him that, that defensive quality. And he's allowed him to go forward and play and run with the ball and join and link up. And Wanyama always holds the fort when he goes forward. Yeah, it's such a well-balanced team, as I say, especially for me with the three at the back. I just think it's the best-looking team, man for man, in the Premier League, in my opinion.
Can they push on and win the title, Harry? I suppose that's the big question.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, you look at them and you really want, you can see them. You wonder where they're going to get beat. I mean, over the holiday period, they went to Watford and scored 4. They went to Southampton and murdered Southampton. They came back home and beat Chelsea. So, you're looking at, there's not too many teams you'd fancy to beat them. They've played Chelsea twice now, home and away. They shared the spoils with Chelsea. They were unlucky at Chelsea. For 40 minutes, they completely dominated Chelsea earlier in the season, but came out on the wrong end of that result. But so they've finished with Chelsea for the season. They've certainly got games now. You wonder, I don't see them losing too many games, Tom. They're again a team that's capable, like the other teams have got to do. Arsenal, Tottenham, Man City, Man United, Liverpool. If they're going to make a challenge to Chelsea, they need a run of 6-7 games of win, win, win. That's what they need now.
Well, for this weekend, Spurs 2-7, the draw 9-2, West Brom 23-2, Spurs to win 3-0 at 31-5, over 4.5 goals in the game at 9-2 with Betsafe. One more fixture we're just going to rattle through quickly, Harry, because it's the second part of Super Sunday, and that Merseyside versus Manchester derby, and of course the Manchester derby is coming up in the next 3 to 4 weeks as well. But United really have found some fantastic form, and two great sides in Liverpool and United, two great managers in Klopp and Mourinho going head-to-head at Old Trafford this weekend. What a prospect.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game, there's no doubt about that. And Liverpool, they've lost Marnie, for me, it was a fantastic talent. Unfortunately, he's out there. He's gone off to the African Nations Cup, so he's a big loss to him, in my opinion. So that certainly gives Man United a bit of an edge in the fixture, but it's a very evenly balanced game. It's a classic, hopefully. The game early in the season, we all looked forward to, and we couldn't wait for the game. We thought this is going to be, and it turned out to be a bit of a damp squib, in all honesty. But hopefully this game will live up to the big billing, and we'll see some real fireworks the weekend. And I'm looking forward to it. It's certainly Sunday's a day of sitting in the house with the TV on and watching football. Fantastic games to look forward to.
And you've got to say, anybody that thought Zlatan Ibrahimovic was past his sell-by date might be wondering why they thought that. He really has been marvellous, hasn't he? Especially, I think he scored in the last 18 consecutive games, hasn't he?
He's been amazing. Not only his goals, his work rate. He's a leader. You can see that in him. The players look up to him. They respect him. and he's took over. He's the governor at the club. You know, Wayne Rooney was the captain. Wayne was the leader. You know, Wayne's not been in the side on a regular basis. This fella stepped up to the plate, and he's took up that mantle of being the leader of the team, and he has been fantastic for him. But it's a tight game, a very, very difficult game to call. If I have to put my money, you know, I've got a feeling Man United might just edge it at home. Man United might just edge it, yeah, edge it.
Man United at 6-5, the draw 12-5, Liverpool at 12-5. Now, if you went with Harry's Man United edge, how would you imagine that the script could be written? Wayne Rooney surpassing Sir Bobby's record as the leading goal scorer for Manchester United, scoring that winning goal. That would be quite a script, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you wouldn't put it past him, would you? I mean, he's been a fantastic player for Man United, and you wouldn't put that past him at all. You could well see that happening the weekend. You can see Rooney, last 10 minutes or so, Rooney popping up, whether he starts the game or comes off the bench or whatever. Yeah, you could, that the script. It looks like the script could be written.
Well, Harry, listen, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Dubai. And just remind us the name of your horse, so punters out there can go and have a look at it.
Movie Star.
It's
on. Yeah, they can watch it on the TV. It'll be on the race. One of the racing channels. I think both racing channels carry live racing from Maidan tomorrow night. So we're hoping. I think the race is round about 5:25 UK time. So around about 9:25 Dubai time. Round about. It's certainly within 10-15 minutes of that time. So yeah, we're ready to go. We're going to be there and cheering the horse home. Hopefully, it would be a lovely race to win, Dom. We'd love to win tomorrow night. It would be great.
Well, we're going to be backing that. So there's two things you need to look out this week. Tomorrow night, about 5:25, Movie Star. That's Harry's horse, and of course Harry's treble for this weekend. Manchester City, Arsenal, and Chelsea, all to win at 4-1. Harry, fantastic to have you on. Thank you so much.
Good talking to you, Dom. Say hello to all the listeners. Cheers, mate. Bye bye.